the Justice Department considered bringing criminal charges against the Tea Party, and in fact communicated with the IRS about working with them on a criminal prosecution. The emails surfaced as part of a Freedom of Information request by the conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch. It turns out that the day before, Lois Lerner went before the media and revealed this program of targeting Tea Party and other conservative advocacy groups for special audits and stuff, that she received an email from the Justice Department saying, "We are considering piecing together a case for criminal prosecution of the conservative advocacy groups." The claim was that these groups had said they do not engage in political activity for a majority of their work, but in fact they did engage in political activity, and the Justice Department was going to prosecute them criminally for making false statements, and was asking the IRS to cooperate in that inquiry. Lois Lerner then turned around and emailed her boss, Miller, who was in charge of the IRS at the time, acting commissioner, and relayed the information and said that, "I think this is a good idea, I think we should do it." And then the whole thing blew up when it became evident that when she had to admit that they were targeting Tea Party groups for audits. But had that not blown up, very possibly, they would have criminalized the political activity of the Tea Party groups. Now, this information casts a giant shadow over the new regulations that the IRS is about to issue, limiting the free speech of Tea Party and conservative political advocacy groups. They're considering, as you know, a regulation that would define almost any political activity as partisan political activity, even if it had nothing to do with an election. It was issue advocacy or get out the vote or efforts to prevent voter fraud or voter registration. All of that stuff would be considered political activity and could constitute no more than 49% of the Tea Party activities. I don't know what they do with the other 51%, have a knitting circle or a book club or something totally unrelated to politics. And the specter that the IRS and the Justice Department talked about prosecuting criminally false statements means that they may criminalize this whole thing. They may say that if a Tea Party group claims that it's spending 49% of its activity on all these political stuff combined, and they in fact are spending more, they could be prosecuted criminally. And even if we don't know if they're spending more, they could still prosecute them and try to prove that they were. This casts a gigantic shadow over the rights of free speech in the United States and is very, very scary. When you start to criminalize politics, it becomes terrifying. And don't forget, this is the same Justice Department that's going after Dsouza for a minor amount of campaign contributions that they claim were illegal to a long shot, ultimately defeated Republican Senate candidate in New York State. And it's now come out that the prosecutor who brought this indictment is a Democratic campaign donor and very active in the Democratic Party. So this whole process of making criminals out of people that are just trying to advocate changes in our country is terrifying. Thanks for watching.